Hey guys, crew at Blind Wave. I'm Eric.
I'm Calvin.
I'm Melanie.
I'm Aaron.
And we just got back from Deadpool. Now, when I was at the ticket counter, I said, "One for Daredevil, please."
Did you?
I did. I swear I did. And she looked at me and I was wearing a Deadpool shirt. And I'm like, Deadpool.
I mean Deadpool.
So, me, Aaron, and Melanie just went and saw it. Calvin, you saw it opening night,
Yep.
I believe. So, we are going to do a review. Now, we don't do a whole lot of movie reviews, but it's something that we want to start doing more. I just want to caution everybody before we start, this is going to be a spoiler review.
Okay.
So, if you have not seen the movie, do not... Good shot.
Thank you.
Do not watch this video. So, what we're going to do is I think that we should probably just do a general summary of what we thought of the movie. We'll start with Aaron. Aaron, what'd you think?
It was fun and
Okay, Mel.
and rated. It was fun and it was rated R.
It was really rated R.
It was.
It was so rated R. I was surprised.
I was too.
I was like, yes.
And I knew I would like Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool because
Oh,
I've seen him
man.
before, and they didn't sew his mouth shut,
Yeah.
and it was good.
And his suit wasn't green and animated.
They actually mentioned that in the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
The green anime, but also the mouth sewing.
Yeah.
shit.
Yep.
A lot of reference, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was fun.
Now, I generally don't like gory movies at all.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like violence, I don't like gore, but this had enough comedic relief to where I loved it.
Yeah.
And enough tits to where I loved it.
Well, in terms of the gore, too, it was very, like, you see it for 2 frames and it's gone.
Yeah.
You know?
It
Which
didn't
I
stick
thought was,
around. I don't think it stuck around
It doesn't
very
stick
much.
around. It doesn't,
Yeah.
like, glorify itself.
It's not like horror movie gore.
It's
where
fun.
it's like trying
yeah.
to immerse you and gross you out with it. It's just like realistic gore.
Yeah. As weird it is, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, even the fact that like when he had no hand, and then they show him with no hand. It was like a fun
Yeah.
no hand.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
like all gory and gross like something from Saw or whatever. You know, it was
Yeah.
Yeah.
back team will fix this.
Sure. Anyway, Calvin, how did you feel?
I was thoroughly satisfied with how it turned out. I was afraid that they were going to cop out and try to make it like a light R
Yeah.
and not make it
They
like
did.
I know it's
Oh, no,
doesn't-
I'm saying they did not do that.
They did not do that at all, and I really appreciate it because it really showed you how the character was in the comic books and
Yeah.
the games and stuff like that, and it revitalized the character rather than the Wolverine origins
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Deadpool,
Yeah.
which disappointed so many fans.
Which
Canadian, American.
I think the first part
Sorry.
I was fairly happy with the first part, how he was very work with a mouthy.
Yeah.
But then like later on in the movie when they changed them all up and he had giant Wolverine sword things coming out
Yeah.
of his
and I love that they had the little action figure of him in there from that movie. You
from
know?
that movie,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like that's I actually give Fox who I generally don't love as a studio sometimes a whole lot of props for this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because one, they kind of crapped on themselves. They allowed. I mean, I'm kind of just gonna start getting into it, but they allowed in the beginning of this sequence
the credits,
no credits for like actual
opening
Yeah.
credits
Yeah.
were awesome.
Like,
Yeah.
if this isn't like, this has to, you have to do opening credits for union rules, but all they have to say is like, look, that's them. That's who
Yeah.
we're talking about. They're
Yeah,
credited.
it was great. It was like starring, sexy man, or whatever,
Yeah.
produced by a bunch of money grubbing assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff was awesome. I love it. I wrote down opening credits just because I thought it was so funny.
A British villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one thing I had written down. But yeah, I thought that it was so great in terms of that, and also in terms of allowing them to kind of play in the X-Men universe a lot
Yeah.
more than I thought they were going to.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they showed the mansion.
They did.
Yeah.
I just wrote like X school. What?
Yeah.
It's like,
And I gotta say, what's her name? Teenage.
it's like
War.
It's like NECA Sonic Teenage
Yeah.
Warhead or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, her costume was the best X-Men costume of any movie I felt like. It was the best X-Men costume. It looks so good. I'm like, why didn't you do that for everything else? I mean, at First Class is also very good, but there was something about this that was so comic to me.
It was
I
just
loved it.
so basic.
Yeah, it's so basic,
so
that
basic
it's.
that it's,
I don't know.
It was very yellow. It was more yellow than like
Yeah.
like Wolverine's yellow in
Yeah.
the cartoons and that kind of stuff in the comics. I felt like it was more like that kind of like yellow
And
spandex
I
comic. Like,
I loved it.
yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, props to Fox for allowing them to play in that world and make fun of that world relentlessly.
yeah.
The one fourth wall call out where he said, talking about Xavier, and he's like,
Yeah. Now, which one am I going to
which one am I talking about? Is it, I wrote it down.
Is it the Stewart?
Yeah,
or...
McAvoy or Stewart?
Yeah.
Which one? That's so cool that Fox allowed them to do that. Anyway, I took a notepad and a pen in there. I know Aaron did as well, and I know you guys got a lot of stuff. So let's just kind of go down through and see
You
what we
just
have
go
to
like
say.
in order of it, or what?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I wrote down stuff in order. So
Yeah, I wrote down stuff in order too, so we can kind of start in the beginning, going through.
Yeah.
Kind of.
All right. Well, we already talked about the credits. The cab ride, his cab ride. They
Oh,
showed a little
yes.
bit in the trailer, but I thought it was fun. You know,
Yeah.
like just things that he said. I just liked him playing with the gum and it gets stuck on the camera lens.
Yes.
You know, that kind of stuff was funny to me.
Scratching
I
it
enjoyed that.
The
a lot.
little Adventure Time watch. That he
Yeah,
had.
yeah.
that was great.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh.
And
Them jumping to the X school and then having Colossus and Teenage Warhead. In
yeah.
it. I don't know. At first, I wrote down don't like Colossus's voice. It just caught me off guard. It felt weird.
It definitely caught me off guard, but by the end of the movie, I loved it.
I think I was
Yeah.
okay with it towards the end though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wrote that down initially in the beginning. I'm like, I don't think I like that. But then I think it grew on me. Like it's all right. Like I like his personality.
I wrote down that Colossus said more than one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first time, like, we've seen him in what, 3 movies now? X-Men 2, 3. He wasn't in First Class.
No. Yeah, I
He was
think 2,
he was
3, and this
He was
one,
in
right?
Days of Future Past.
Yeah, he was protecting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think this is like the 4th appearance he's been in a movie. This is the first time he's had any kind of personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a very generic, like, he is the personification of the X-Men,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it was so good.
But right there is my favorite fourth wall break of what we can only afford 2 of you.
Yeah, that was, they got a big laugh in the theater.
Yeah.
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 I enjoyed that as well. What'd you guys think of like? I felt like he was Deadpool before he was Deadpool. You know what I mean? Like before he had everything. Like he was Ryan Reynolds just portrayed
Oh, yeah.
Wade. Yeah, Wade. I was like
Wade
Wade
Wilson.
Wade
Slade.
Wilson.
Wade.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, here's a thing that I had too. Does he not gain the, or this is sarcastic or in quotes, but does he not gain the ability to break the fourth wall until after he becomes Deadpool? Because he doesn't do it while he's Wade
Yeah.
Wilson.
I guess that's true.
True.
Like before the whole mutant
Yeah.
like lab thing happened.
I don't think he ever breaks the fourth wall as Ryan Reynolds, Wade Wilson. It's only after he comes out of that chamber, and he's this thing, that he starts talking to the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
I
usually-
wonder if it's like a thing where it's like Deadpool's gained the ability to see outside his universe, and I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, and obviously this isn't supposed to be taken that seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I made the observation. I was like, man, he isn't breaking the fourth wall here, you know. So
Yeah.
just something I had.
Did you like the bar? His the little bar thing he goes to and everything.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I thought it was fun.
Like the mercenary bar.
Yeah, and when he met
Yeah.
the chick, whatever, I laughed at like the get out of here, fat Gandalf, and like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but I just like
Don't
that
spell.
that bar is like where he goes, where he hangs out, and that's
Yeah.
how he gets his name is from that bar, you know.
That
Yeah,
stool's
Deadpool.
new.
Yeah. We say this a lot when it comes to these big movies, but when you're watching the trailer, a lot of the stuff in that trailer comes from the first 10 minutes of that movie,
Yeah.
which
Not
I
a whole
love.
lot was spoiled.
Not a whole lot was spoiled. There was a couple shots of Ajax
With his
right?
with his
with
axes
his
and
axes,
stuff,
yeah. Which
Well, and then there's the in one of the trailers like this is why I brought him.
yeah.
This is why I brought her.
I guess I had assumed that like in the trailer when I was watching this in that first 10 minutes, I assumed okay, that's probably gonna happen here pretty soon because they're already here, but then they go back.
Yeah.
So.
The one thing that I was kind of hoping more for is the one part in the trailer where they show like you look like Freddy Krueger fucked a topograph of Utah
Yeah.
Yeah.
or like a testicle with teeth and all
Yeah.
that. I was hoping that they use like alternate takes
Alternate
of them just kind of
versions.
like you know
Yeah.
riffing on each other, but they didn't. I was hoping for more of things like well I saw this in the trailer, but I'm hoping they didn't use these takes and they used better ones, you know, or something like that. But
I
Those
agree,
were still good though.
but it was still funny, but it would have been better if we hadn't seen that trailer.
Yeah.
But you can say that about everything, right?
true.
The car fight before we go back and to him as Wade Wilson, that like scene, that entire scene was perfect.
Yeah.
Like the shots, the action, and all the little gags they had with him like hitting the door and it falling out and hitting the guy. You know, it was so damn good.
I liked it so much because it was the beginning credit picture and it led up to that picture.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it all makes sense.
Yeah, it was great. Like, I was just sitting there, and it's pretty rare that I do this. I was sitting there and being like, man, they nailed this fight.
It was awesome.
Oh
You know?
shit! Did I leave the oven on? That whole sequence was awesome. Yeah, I liked. I like all the gags with like I've never said this before. But don't swallow. You know, like
Yeah.
just all of it. All of these little like.
I
one-liners.
really enjoy, like, the verbal gags, but I probably enjoy the visual gags a little more, like I can't remember exactly what the lines were, but like, you know,
like leather. Whatever,
well, like when the guy's body fell off the sign. That guy just when he hit that sign, it was like he flattened, and then he stuck for like 3.5 minutes, and then
that guy was here when I got here.
That guy was here when I got here.
No, yeah, that whole sequence on that highway or whatever it was thing. I loved it. I thought it worked so well. The whole idea of like only 12 bullets. All right.
Yeah.
Like let's count them down, guys. 12. Like he's going through like bad Deadpool, good Deadpool. You know that.
Bad 1, 2, but it was worth it.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah. I enjoyed all that.
But Aaron, to your point, like, was he Deadpool before he became Deadpool? Like that scene of him shaking down that kid, you know.
Yeah, with the pizza and all that. Yeah.
That was pretty Deadpool, but like I said, he wasn't as aware of the audience, I don't think, in those scenes. So but he was still very threatening and charismatic at the same time.
Yeah.
You know?
Like his moment, like he's like, you'll find I have hard spots. Maybe that was wrong.
Yeah.
Or right. He still felt like he was like the Deadpool character before he was Deadpool, and I like that he tried to. The whole mutant thing was like, no one keeps a sense of humor through this.
Sure.
You know, he's like, we'll see about that, and he kept. That was the only part of him really that he kept, besides his love for his Vanessa.
Yeah.
Vanessa. No wonder you got confused with Daredevil.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot.
Yeah. One thing I really enjoyed was like the really small visual reactions of like something would happen and Deadpool would go, and then action, you know? Like I really enjoyed that because it paces the editing so well that even though all the shit is happening and you can't follow the action, when you follow Deadpool, you instantly go from one scene to another. It's perfect.
With that too, like talking about his reactions of things, I also really love the way they did his mask and everything with like the white and the way the white actually acted like eyes, even though it's his mask.
Yeah.
I love that. It just felt like comic book wise. You know?
How do you guys think they did that?
Probably motion capture, and then probably had like material over his face, and then they just
like worked with the eyes.
Tracked his eyelids.
I feel like they had a real mask on him, but then like kind of CGI'd the
eyes,
a little bit of the eyes to kind of like just maybe fake it a little bit. I don't know how else they could do that.
I think the suit might have been perfect. I guess.
Yeah. I think it was. It looked like Deadpool. You know, like they've changed a lot of stuff, but I think that was just they're like, let's make Deadpool look like Deadpool. You know.
Yeah.
It's not like, well, we're gonna make Wolverine, but he's not gonna wear anything from the comics or cartoon that he's ever worn. He's gonna. I
mean, for a first-time director, this guy that's directing this movie. He is the head of Blur Studios, meaning all the people that do like all the cinematic like trailers for like video games, like the Old Republic, like Batman. You know. Oh yeah. He directed all of those, and this is his first actual movie. He's like he's in his 50s.
It's a good movie,
but it's his first actual like movie, and he just I keep using the word perfect, but the casting perfect, the costume perfect, the editing perfect. It was so good.
Yeah. It was like a cutscene. It was like a 2-hour-long cutscene.
Actually, there were a couple moments where I was like, "This would be a really good like cinematic cutscene from a game."
Yeah.
Especially like the montage of the torture sequence. You know, I felt like that, like the way it was like going from one shot to another was interesting and a way that film doesn't really do.
Yeah.
So I wrote down pegging.
Pegging.
Yeah. Do you guys know what pegging is?
I think I do.
I think I've heard it before.
It's when a woman fucks you.
Oh yeah.
Like I was like the thing about the thing about this movie is I expected it's gonna be rated R. I didn't expect how hard of an R it was gonna be. So each time it pushed the envelope, I was like, okay, wow, all right,
yeah.
And then it did it more. Yeah. And then it's like this guy's getting fucked in the ass. I'm like. It's a superhero movie, but it's great, you know?
Yeah.
And I love the little thing they had released, too, where they were like, please, for the love of God, do not bring your children to see this. Mm-hmm. This is not a child's movie.
I almost wanted to say something, because after I got my tickets and I was kind of getting salt on my popcorn and all that, like a mom and a dad came up with like probably like a 7-year-old kid. Really? It was like 3 for Deadpool, and I just want to be like, it's rated R, right? I was like, maybe. Okay, fine, that's fine. Yeah. If you want to do that, just don't bitch later.
Yeah, that's
the big thing. Be like, we shouldn't have taken him.
Whenever your 7-year-old gets someone knocked up here in 5 years, don't blame them.
Maybe just really progressive family.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. Just as long as they're not like it was our fault to take him if it was bad, not this movie shouldn't be rated R. No, it should have been rated R.
It
You know what I
absolutely
mean?
should have been rated R.
Oh yeah,
But,
if not unrated.
Daddy, what's she doing? That's pegging, little Timmy.
With all that though, Calvin and I started talking about this earlier, and I was like, no, we gotta talk about it later.
My favorite
I was
part.
excited because the Vanessa is a character, or she's an actress that plays a character in Firefly.
Oh yeah, I'll
Can
definitely
we
have to
say
watch.
what she plays? What she plays?
She's the ambassador.
She's a whore in Firefly,
Oh.
and she plays a
Ambassadors,
whore.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Here in
I got to
Deadpool.
see her naked.
Yeah.
Tits and everything.
Like, that's been one
Of
of
all the
things.
ways you could have said that, like, I gotta see her naked, or you're like, I got to see her.
naked.
Well, I was sitting there, me and Melanie were, cause like I'm like, she's like, she looks so familiar. Who is that? I'm like, I don't. And my first thought is she reminded me of Lana Lang. That's
No
my
wonder
first
why you
thought.
got
I was
so
like,
turned
maybe Lana
on.
Lang. Did I just see Lana naked? What?
Yeah.
And then like we were talking about it more, and then we're like, and we finally figured out where it was from. But it was just, I was excited. Like, oh, she did a really good job. Number one is like her wisecracking with him back
yeah.
and forth was
Yeah.
awesome.
Really good chemistry.
Very.
When she first goes on the screen, she is just gorgeous, you know? And I don't want to say that about a whole lot of actresses, because I'm just like, yeah, they're pretty, that's fine. But she really was like, I'm like, shit.
Even with butch haircut and whatnot.
Yeah.
Grabbing
Yeah,
balls.
exactly.
Like
Yeah, Fat
she's
Gandalf.
badass.
Fat Gandalf wanted some of that, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, I hit that.
I think it was just like I think that she did a really good job with, just like he did, is ensuing confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yeah.
really cool. I mean, I was really impressed with her character because I like half or 3/4 of the way through the movie, I'm like, okay, so this is going to be a damsel in distress movie? Okay, well, all right, that's fine. And she's wearing garters. I'm like, oh, okay. And then she just breaks open that thing and stabs a fucking guy, you know? I'm like, well, shit, yes!
Yep.
At least she wasn't like a helpless woman. We don't want to see that
Yeah,
story anymore,
exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
That was cool. I like
And
that.
I like them comparing their childhoods.
Yeah, that was
Mine
Yeah,
was
that-
shitty. Mine was shittier. Nope, mine was shittier. Nope, mine was shittier.
I have cancer. You win.
Yeah.
The one thing I like too, and this is one of the only things Melanie said to me while we were watching the movie, like I liked all the little just random things. Like you mentioned the Adventure Time watch.
Yeah.
And there's like the Hello Kitty duffel bag.
Yes.
Stuff like that. I wrote down like the ugly Deadpool figurine.
Yeah.
Like, I really like that. Melanie's like, he's wearing a Rent t-shirt. I'm like, yes,
What?
yes he is. So I just wrote down Rent t-shirt. Good job, Melanie. But I also loved like him mentioning like the Taken movies, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's sitting there, he's just like, I just had a bad dream about, I stole Liam Neeson's daughter, and he was coming for me. It's like, you know, he's had 3 of those. Eventually he's going to figure out he's just a bad father. You know?
Love that.
I just some of those things, like, they're not related to that movie, but just some of the things he just cracks about are just
The one that
awesome.
might have gotten me the most, like I think it only got me too, because I was like like this, and everybody else laughed. I was like, you know, but it was the prostate one where he's like, oh, that's the on switch, something like that. He's like, yeah, is there a switch? Yeah, it's in my prostate. It's actually it's the on switch. I don't know. There's something way he said it.
He was
was
talking
so
about
good.
the off switch for
Yeah.
his mouth, right?
Yes.
It's like, it's in my
It's in my prostate.
Maybe it's the on switch.
Yeah.
It was so funny. That just really got me.
There was a segment, and I can't remember what it was, but I couldn't stop laughing. Oh, I remember where it was. After his hand got lost.
Oh.
The little
The blind chick, the woman, I don't forget her name, and then Deadpool, they're like just talking back and
they're
forth.
cuddling.
And yeah, they're cuddling for one. They're talking back and forth. They bring up that tiny ass little hand and stroke her face. And like that whole sequence, I just kept laughing. Like everything he kept saying, he's like, you know, love is blind. No, you're blind. Like I just kept laughing so much. Like some part of that movie that
This little hand's gonna make some things feel really big.
yeah. Like I just think that if I'd have been watching at home, I'd have had a moment where like, because I tried to stop laughing so I didn't interrupt people, but I feel like I'd have just been like rolling on the
Peeing
floor.
yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like,
You had to pause the movie to
like
catch
that
up.
thing, like,
Yeah.
I did have a question during the scene where he is talking to the like recruiter guy. They're talking about we can make you a superhero, and he said like I've done the hero thing. I'm not interested. What's he talking about? What was he a hero?
I don't know. I don't know if he's referring to when he was.
I
in
thought
the
he was
military,
referring
Was he in the
yeah,
military? Is
Special
that
Forces.
what he's saying?
I don't know if he's referring to that. I also thought like, this is at no way tied into Origins, right? Like was he ever that kind of Deadpool
I
mercenary
don't
kind
think
of guy?
so. Honestly, whenever he was rising out of the ashes after the thing had burnt down, I got like a kind of glimpse back to that because we saw his like head in that bunch of ashes. You know?
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Bad touch. Bad touch. Okay.
Yeah, I did. With that too, like I wrote down about escaping from the mutant lab. I like that fight, but did Ryan Reynolds was he like that whole fight naked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's one part he's just standing like He is fully naked.
He is.
Look
But
at that.
I actually, this would sound weird. I enjoyed that, but I thought it was like a, it kind of gave that, if you're looking for symbolism, it's like the rebirth of he is now Deadpool.
True.
He comes in this world naked.
Yeah.
He'll probably end the same way. But I liked that it was a reveal of this is who he is now. There's no hiding anything about him, and then he tries to hide it, and he
All
tries
of
to
him
hide
is
from her.
ugly.
Yeah.
And whatever.
And speaking of that, not only was he just amazing in terms of the comedic timing and the charisma, but he could turn on, not from the prostate, but he could turn on sympathy. The sympathy card, like him just following his girl down the street. Like, it truly felt like, man, I feel so bad for this character that is almost impossible to relate to.
Yeah.
It was so cool. I liked it.
But you're like, just talk to her, but don't talk to her because you don't want to ruin her image of you. But acceptance, that whole thing.
During right before the fight scene, and they put the needle in. I just in the corner of my eye because Aaron and Melanie were sitting, little like a seat up and to the left, and I just see like.
Yeah.
It wasn't Melanie.
It wasn't
Please
Melanie.
don't puke.
I'm not gonna puke. We're
We've
just.
had a huge
You were
tub of
doing this.
popcorn, don't
Aaron was
puke.
like.
They showed it for so long, Eric. It was terrible.
It was a thick needle too.
It was huge.
It wasn't even like a catheter. Like, it was just straight up metal.
But like, I seriously just started watching Aaron and not watching the movie for a while because I'm like, this is funny.
I like all the things he was saying too with Francis during that time. Like,
Yes.
you got something in your teeth.
I've
Like,
been waiting so long to tell you.
Yeah, it's like, it just bothered me. And then like, his name's Francis. He got Ajax from soap.
From dish soap.
I love how he was being like the
What's
rowdy
my
class
name?
kid
Yeah.
and like announcing to all the other people in the meat factory.
Yeah.
Like, hey, his name is Francis. The guy's name from soap. I really enjoyed that. Like
Me
he was being the problem.
I like him trying to come up with his name too. Like right after he gets out of there and he goes and meets the bartender guy. I forget what his name was, but it's like, how about, I don't know. And they start coming up with name ideas like Deadpool, Captain Deadpool.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
cool.
It's just Deadpool.
Yeah.
Because
Sounds
of
like a franchise.
all the bad.
Yeah, and that part was awesome. And then him trying to get his costume.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah.
2 reds, so then they don't see the blood. Or
What was it? Salsa water and lemon juice or something like that.
well, get all the red out,
Get
or
the
you can
blood
just wear red, you dumbass.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question. Why does Deadpool start using a sword?
See, that's what I was saying. If he did the special forces thing before and had like that kind of thing that
Yeah.
he did, maybe. But he had powers back then too, didn't he? Or no?
Well, in X-Men Origins he did, yeah, but we're not counting that as
Or was
canon
he
at
just
all.
like very good with swords?
From what I got from this movie, and I think we can only take context from this movie when it comes to Deadpool, I felt like the swords came out of nowhere, kind of.
Yeah, a
that's
little bit.
true. It would have been nice as like while he was fighting people,
Yeah.
some guy had a sword or whatever, and he took it from him. He's like, I
Yeah.
guess. He just kept
Yeah,
it.
I mean, just in that little montage of him training and stuff, like eventually he has one sword on his back when he's like going through like a club or something, and I'm just like, I think I'm missing a piece of like origin story a little bit.
It could have been maybe something they cut out too. That
Maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, I can see what you mean. The swords did kind of just like now he has swords.
Because
Yeah.
like all the old cut scenes, he was fighting with guns.
Well, he had a knife. He had a knife in the very
He had
beginning
a
thing
knife,
with the
yeah.
pizza, like before.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But other than that, yeah, he
It's
had
a
guns
big difference
and stuff.
between knives and swords.
It was a blade.
Just length.
Significant blade.
And then he threw some blades, like little daggers and stuff at some points and stuff. But
I just felt like it kind of came out of nowhere, but the nature of the movie and the character himself was so great that I forgot about that until I just read it now.
yeah.
I was like, where the fuck these swords come from?
Well, I think it kind of makes sense. I mean, the reason why you carry a gun is because it's more efficient than a sword.
Yeah.
But guns run out of ammo.
True.
And
Which
he's Deadpool. He doesn't need to conceal anything.
I mean, that whole
So-
sequence was about him running out of ammo, right?
Yeah.
well, yeah, he had 12 bullets. That's it.
Yeah,
Did he
so
start drawing himself beforehand or after? Because every time he drew himself, it was with some type of weird sword or attachment or.
I mean, that was after he had already become Daredevil, right?
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Shit.
You're fired.
Did you see? Because he was like making like one of those like cliched like here's a map. Here we're putting like a little web together. You know.
Mm-hmm.
He had Ajax there, and Ajax had 5 dicks on his head.
I didn't notice that.
Like I just noticed it. Like he had like a little hat made of 5 dicks that he like drew with crayon and put there. And I just wrote down like Ajax picture had dicks on head.
Like dickhead.
It just made me laugh, and it's great because it's a small detail that if you just weren't paying attention, you would never see.
I feel
It's
like
so funny.
watching it again at home, where you can like look at stuff, there'd be a lot of little things.
Yeah, I have to imagine we're missing a lot of stuff for our first viewing. So, if you guys know any of that stuff, now that we've seen the movie, you can go down in the comments below and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin, best Stan Lee cameo ever?
Yeah, I think so.
Dude, our audience like started clapping during that.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Like my audience, there was not an empty seat on opening night, and like everybody in this theater like started. Oh yeah!
I mean,
screaming and. Just
I mean, if
going
you're
wild.
gonna put Stan Lee in an R-rated movie, that's a good spot to put him.
I'm sure he appreciates it.
Stan Lee, we're gonna put you in this strip club.
Yeah.
Watching these titties and everything.
Excelsior!
Being the announcer.
I was just like, because, you know, it's a Fox movie, and sometimes I kind of forget, like, oh yeah, Stan Lee's in this. But when he showed up, I was like, whoa! Because not only was it Stan Lee, but he was in a situation I would never thought to see him cameo as.
Yeah.
Like, you see him, like, in the other Marvel movies, he's like, he helps some kid, or he talks to a hero and gives him some advice or something like that. He's running a strip club.
Yeah. I would say, in terms of, like, ranking, this might be my favorite Stan Lee cameo. Second only... No, not second only.
Daredevil?
Second would be... Not Daredevil. Second would actually probably be Amazing Spider-Man, even though I didn't like that movie. His cameo where he's like a music guy and he's listening to music while they're fighting behind him.
Yeah.
That probably is a really
That's
good one
funny.
too.
That
Yeah,
was really
a good one.
I forgot
But
about that.
I just couldn't believe it. It made me laugh so much. I like the whole gag with he spends all his time getting guns and forgets them.
Oh,
he
yeah.
leaves them in the cab.
And then, he talked at the beginning about the girl, and like, well, you gotta do this, this, and this. And then the guy locks him in his trunk.
Yes.
And then he calls him to get his guns back, so the guy crashes and probably kills the guy in the
kills
trunk.
that guy. Yeah.
He was screaming though. He wasn't like
That's what
instantly
Deadpool wanted.
dead.
I mean, he could be bleeding to death.
I mean,
don't know. But I mean, that was a pretty bad crash.
he
That trunk was
probably
pretty-
got partially
that trunk
crushed.
was pretty
I
crushed.
never said anything like that. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
You should always do this and this and this. Kill him. And then she will fall back into your arm. Kidnap her.
But
I love that.
with that whole scene, like we had her little gun, you know, that she took out, and
That's the only one he made.
well, he picked up and put it in his back, and I wrote down gun on the mantle. That's a TV trope.
I guess,
and I'm like, that gun's definitely coming back, and it ended up doing it. So.
True.
Ow! Fuck! He's in there.
So, with the getting into the ending fights and everything.
Yes.
Like I like the fight. I knew what to kind of expect from Teenage Warhead because of the trailers.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think I would have been like, whoa! It's like I had no idea what her power would have been. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still not 100% sure.
Yeah.
She just blows up.
Now I don't know at all who the bad chick was.
Angel. Right?
Angel. Okay.
But she's the
less angry Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that. I don't want to say anything here. Melanie, you're here. You can talk to me about this. I thought that as a woman fighting, I believed every second of her performance.
Yeah.
In which case, a lot of movies, when I see like a really pretty girl on heels doing back kicks and jumping around, spinning, and taking out 10 300-pound men,
Mika.
you know, but even though she was a super strong character, I felt like her presence and the way she moved, and like she was stocky, but still really attractive, you know. But I was just like, I just wrote down like strong girl looks and acts strong, and that was something I wanted to point out.
I was waiting for her matches to come to use somehow with like her, but because the only thing they did was help get him out of his cage. But
I mean, you know, I would honestly rather have an actress like that go for Wonder Woman than like a
that's what I was
beautiful
hoping.
Israeli.
Really hoping.
You know,
Ronda Rousey.
supermodel.
Ronda
Ronda Rousey, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's just something about her that like was very intimidating, yet still like you know, good to look at.
I
You
loved
know what I'm
it.
saying?
That, and it leads up to my favorite line that that Colossus had. You're beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
That's
And then
so
he
Dick punch!
Dick.
terrible.
And it
line.
was like ding.
It led up to the like you were saying, perfect girl fighter. That's
Yeah,
what
I don't know. There was something about that character that
She did awesome.
we didn't really know anything about her,
Yeah.
and she was kind of a.
Yeah, I don't know if she's been in. I don't know where she's from or anything.
Yeah.
I've just never heard of her.
Did she die?
No, I don't think so. Cause I don't know what happened to her. I wrote down.
Yeah.
I wrote down because Colossus was carrying
Both of them.
teenage and her.
Yeah, Colossus
Yeah.
saved both.
But
of
then
them,
she just disappeared. They didn't take. I don't think they took her with them.
I mean, they might have taken her back to the school.
Well, I mean maybe, but they didn't
Leave
show
her on
anything.
the ground
They-
while those two were
They
hanging
showed
out.
them being carried out, and then like everyone was awake, and then he was taking care of Francis, shooting her in the head and whatnot, and then like they never showed her again.
Yeah.
And then it pulled away. All right, here comes the pull out. Anything pulling out tonight? You know that whole thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we had the one moment where he was like, and Aaron like turned like
Yeah.
looks
As
right
soon-
at me.
when after you got stabbed in the head, and there's like those random unicorns and hearts like right there dancing around Vanessa, and he's like, "Hi," and then he goes,
Heart. No, heart.
"Yeah, heart," and then
Yeah.
he does this. As soon as he did this, I went, I looked back at
And
Aaron.
in my head, I'm going like, when you take the and you got the and you put it. I just one of our little
They're
gags.
just funny.
Uh,
I also
Um,
I really like too with the fighting of all the random guys and stuff with the guns,
yeah.
and like right before that, like the fighting in this movie I thought was good to begin with. Like I
Yeah,
liked
absolutely.
all
I
the
loved it.
fights.
Very well done.
But I also
Hardcore.
like what's my name? Like a thing that he keeps on saying. He's like, I'm gonna spell it out for you. And
He
then he
does.
just spells it out on his dead bodies.
I love that.
yeah. I really like the scene where he recognized one of his old buddies.
Hi, Bob. How you
Oh,
been?
Is that you, Bob?
I haven't seen you since Jacksonville.
That,
Oh yeah,
that
how's
tuna
the-
casserole.
How's the family? Did he kill him or did he just lay him as like an eye or something?
I think he
like
just.
Knocked him
I think
out.
he just knocked him out.
that? Okay.
Yeah. He's
That
like, I
tuna
think he knew
casserole
him, so
goes
he's
straight
like,
to the waist.
yeah,
That's
just like
fine.
professional courtesy. He didn't actually kill him.
When did Colossus have silver throw up?
Yeah, that's
It was
what
it was
my
like
question
clear.
was.
It was like clear.
Yeah.
Like
Why?
I thought it was
It
like
looked
yellow.
metallic.
Maybe it's water.
It looked like silver to me.
Could have been water.
Really?
That was
Yeah, it
my
looked
question.
metallic.
What is his vomit? What does he eat?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, he was eating cereal, right?
Is he? He's
And
not
they had
metal all the time.
protein bars.
He's not metal all the
It's
time.
not
though,
metal
is
all the time.
I don't think so. But I mean, every time we saw him, he was.
he? Yeah, no, we
Yeah.
never saw him not metal.
Yeah. In like the other X-Men movies, like he would turn
Yeah.
metallic.
they just didn't have enough money.
And this
to
time
put
too,
that.
like in some of the other ones, he looked like his skin just became metal. And this one, like it looked like
It looked
like
really good.
yeah, like ridges and layers, and you know
Yeah.
what I mean, like a robot kind of
Armored,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it was armored kind of look, which was
Yeah.
neat. I like that. I wrote down axe catch.
That was. You know,
That was awesome.
I remember that happening, and I for a second looked over at you, and you're like,
Yeah.
Oh, axe catch!
yeah, that
oh.
was really cool.
That was
really
awesome.
cool. Is Deadpool a mutant?
Well, yeah, because they
Because they cause a mutation,
they
right?
cause mutations.
So,
now he's
like, he
born.
wasn't born as a mutant, but he was caused. So that's why he would be able to be into the X-Men, right?
Yeah, because
Okay.
he's been
He's been
Genetically-
genetically altered.
It would be like in X1 or 2, whenever they turn that senator into like liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he became a mutant
Okay.
because they genetically modified him. But then he turned into water.
Because I know that
Died.
like he
well,
gets
the
like
mutation
certain.
was unstable.
I know he gets certain properties from like Wolverine, right? Like
Um,
like the testing they were doing that created Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like they were able to give him Wolverine's healing ability.
Yeah. Well, in this movie, it didn't.
They
seem
didn't
that
say
way.
anything about
In
that.
this one,
no.
it just
Even
seemed
though
like
they said they referenced Hugh Jackman like
Yeah.
four
three-
times.
4 times.
4
Four
times.
times.
I know
yeah.
he talked about whose balls did I have to fondle.
Yeah.
Wolverine or whatever.
Yeah.
There was a magazine that said "Sexiest Man of the Year" or
Yeah.
like that.
And then he did the accent when he was talking about
Yeah.
it, too.
Oh, did
and
he?
then
I
and then
missed
the
that.
mask at the end.
Yeah.
Which
man.
means he wore that mask the entire time
Yes.
since we saw him at Xavier's mansion.
Yes.
He's just wearing a Hugh
He
Jackman
had
mask
that
underneath
thing
it.
under the
He
entire
was
time.
stapled.
Planning it.
Stapled
Stapled
to
to
his
his
face.
chin. Yeah.
I wrote Jackman mask staple. What?
You'll have to take this mask off to find out who I really am.
I just love that Deadpool is holding a grudge on Hugh Jackman, not Wolverine.
Yeah.
Because what his movie did to his character.
Yeah.
It's so, like, it's true. Like, it breaks the wall up to 16 times.
Yeah. I also, I know. I also enjoyed the after credits scene.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like the
in the
Bueller-
bathrobe.
The
yeah.
Bueller reference.
Yeah.
Because at the end of Ferris Bueller, I think is one of the first movies like that I can remember that had like the after credits scene, which is just like, what are you still doing here? Get out.
Yeah.
But then they kept going with like some little more things and talking about who was it? Who they say was gonna be in the next one?
Cable.
Cable.
Yeah.
It's like, he's gonna be played by, Mel Gibson,
Yeah.
Dolph Lundberg or whatever.
Keira Knightley.
Keira Knightley. You know, one of them strong people. What?
Now, I mean, are they serious? They're gonna have Cable in the next movie?
I don't know. Like, the secret. Shh.
Now, Cable is the son of Scott, Cyclops and Jean Grey from the future, right? I think.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I wanted to go through and talk about our favorite deaths in this because there's so many cool deaths that they did. You know, my favorite moment. Now, I guess you don't see it, but I'm assuming it happened. The Zamboni.
Oh, damn it! You
No.
took mine.
I wrote that down. That was my favorite. You're gonna die in 5 minutes.
You're gonna die from a Zamboni.
It's so funny. I mean, there's some really good other ones too.
What situation happened to cause them into that situation?
I don't know.
How did the events lead up to that guy is bleeding at the halfway point in the rink
On
and
ice.
crawling
With
on ice
no legs.
and it was like it makes me think that he attacked a Zamboni guy, threw him off the Zamboni, turned it around, and the guy's like crawling away. What happened?
Like, he thought that he had some information, so he's just gonna mutilate and kill this guy because he thinks he knows something about Francis.
That was funny.
I liked him beating up the women. It's like, is it more feminist to
Yeah,
beat you
I
or
like
not
that.
to beat you? I don't even know.
She pulls out the gun anyway. It's like, can I hit you or can I not hit you? Well, I'll just shoot you anyway.
Obviously, the one where he cuts the guy's head off and then he kicks it. At
kicks it
somebody
into
else.
the other guy. Yeah.
That was cool. The guy on the actual sign. Actually, one of my favorite deaths is oh man, it's so hard to watch. The lighter into the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of the few times I would say do not swallow.
I never say this, but don't swallow.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh.
man. So that and then when he kicks the door off and it hits the guy on the motorcycle was pretty cool too.
The chain killing the guy, like the motorcycle chain that cut off the guy's head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
Yeah.
crazy.
I think the sign and the Zamboni were my favorite too.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
those two a lot. I don't know.
That guy was already up there.
I think I was here when I
I
got
think I was
here.
here when I got here. Zamboni would have been mine as
Zamboni
well
would've been
because
yours, okay.
it's just completely out of context. You don't know what he's doing or why he's doing it, but he's just messing that guy's life up, and it's hilarious, and you can't help but laugh.
I guess the other thing I liked too was Agent Smith, Mr. Smith, whatever. When that whole thing happened, he's like, "You're gonna want to look away for this," and he turns the camera himself.
That was cool.
I like
Yeah.
that too. I like the fourth wall breaks. I have fourth wall break inside of fourth wall break. That's like 16 walls.
The genius thing about this, especially when you consider the fourth wall break, is that they can never jump the shark. They can never do something so ridiculous it doesn't make sense
Yeah.
because of the nature of the character.
Yeah.
It's like a safety net. There's nothing that you could do that's gonna make people be like, well, that's ridiculous.
Right?
He ran over a guy with a Zamboni with no context.
Like you had
Yeah.
something crazy like that happen in like a Captain America movie.
Yeah.
You're like, what the hell just happened?
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it's almost unfair how much I like this movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was kind of my reaction afterwards.
Yeah.
I was so pleased at how well they pulled it
Yeah.
off.
Me too.
The only other thing I had listed was the hero speech of Colossus. As I wrote it, the Hippo speech.
Yes.
It was dark and I was trying to write and watch. And anyway, during the Hippo speech, I liked Colossus' honor, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wrote before that I didn't like him, you know?
4 moments. It only takes 4 or 5.
Yeah, but that whole hero speech of like how you can be a hero and everything, that was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know? Like how many...
Like I said, he was personifying X-Men.
Yeah.
You know?
Like how many times like superheroes don't kill the villain gets out, kills a bunch of people. If they would just kill him the first time, it'd be over.
Yeah.
Deadpool did that. This guy's not hurting no one else.
With a
Yeah.
blind woman's gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why does she have a gun?
Why not?
You saw all the other guns around there.
Yeah, I know.
Come on. I knew you had one more.
I also love his quest and ultimate succession of the approval of the teenage X-Men.
Yeah.
He finally gets it. He's like,
Woohoo!
Hey, you're cool.
And now you're stupid again.
yes. All right. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right, guys. I think that's everything for our review of not Daredevil, but Deadpool.
Yeah.
Awesome movie. I don't know if I'll go see it in theaters again, but if a nephew of mine wanted to go see it, which I would not do, but if someone else wanted to go see it, I might go see it again because it was a
If
lot
my
of
nephew
fun.
wanted to go see it, I'd say no.
No. No way. But really enjoyed it. Very surprising to me. And very fresh experience. You don't get a whole lot of, just something that you've never seen before in the theater, and I never feel like I felt.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this movie before. That's what we think. We want to hear what you have to think. Whether any like Easter eggs or Marvel trivia stuff that maybe we got wrong or we didn't notice. We definitely want to hear about those. And if you guys disagree with anything we had to say, then fuck it. No, it's fine.
Not again, Eric.
We definitely we encourage all kinds of comments, just nothing, that's insulting to other commenters or racist or anything like that. You gotta take that stuff out. But you guys can go down to the description to find all the links to our social media. You can get up-to-date information, especially if you follow our Twitter. And then this weekend, Sunday, we will be streaming. Aaron, what will we be streaming?
Uncharted 2 on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
Twitch?
No, we finally got the ability now we can stream on YouTube with what we have. So we're trying to see what works best for.
So you guys can stick right here and watch us play Uncharted 2. Calvin, for the first time. I said Calvin, for the first time. But my burp was like silent.
Yeah.
Calvin will be playing it for the first time. I've played that game far too much. Very embarrassing. But it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so other than that, guys, make sure you are hitting the subscribe button and the like button and coming back next video. I'm Eric.
I'm Calvin.
I'm Melanie.
I'm Aaron.
Melanie, you hit the button.
Where is it?
Hit it good. Hit it good. Oh,
That was terrible.
No, hit it hard.
Hit it.
I didn't want to break it.
No,
Break it!
Can't break it.
Just do a fist and just
I
punch.
dare you to try to break it.
Pretend it's my face!
Yes! Yes!